Internet, thanks for joining me on my channel today. Let's do a week's worth of connections. I'm in the New York Times Games website archive in the connections section. These gray squares indicate connections puzzles that I have not looked at yet. So let's do a week's worth. We'll do the 3rd through the 9th and see how it goes. For each of these puzzles, we will have 16 words or phrases, and we'll need to sort them into 4 groups of 4 words each with some kind of connection that links each category. Our words for this day, which was Sunday the 3rd, I think, are mirror, beetle, polo, bird, golf, gorilla, parrot, cricket, fever, echo, squash, bug, monkey, fad, copy, and craze. Okay, the first thing that came to mind were types of Volkswagen cars. I was looking for rabbit to show up again. I don't see one, so I don't think that's right. Mirror can be to echo. Those can be synonyms of each other. To parrot something. If gorilla were ape, I would put that in. But monkey is to mimic somebody, I think. So let's try this as words for mimic. No, it's not right. Copy. There we go. I guess I had ape on the brain from doing crosswords. Okay, emulate works there. Golf. Golf is a game. Golf and polo, both games where you strike things. Squash uses a racket instead of a mallet or golf club, but that works. And cricket uses a cricket bat. So striking games. Just sports, okay. Fever could be something that's popular, like a fad, a craze, or I've got the crosswording bug. I've got the bug, the fad, the craze. Does that work? Turned out to be right. Mania. Okay, I was a little doubtful on that one. Do these have anything in common beyond just being types of living creatures? Monkey, gorilla, bird, and beetle. Or is it like spider monkey? Well, I think there's a spider gorilla. Okay, I think I may be missing part of this. Is there a word that goes with all of these? Single animal. Let me look at that again. Single animal in a creatively spelled band name. Okay, the Beatles, the Birds, and the Monkees were all hits in the 60s. I don't know the Gorillas. Probably Gorillas with a Z. Do I know that? I think I may know that. Okay, but in any case, that was the 3rd. So partial credit on Purple Purgatory there. And let's look at the 4th. For the 4th, our words are aphid, beetle again, aphid, beetle, cedar, decay, easy, effort, geo, tick, beach, vendetta, apple, pine, mite, cookie, you, and ziti. Okay, we have beetle and tick. Are aphids insects? I think they are. Mites. These could all be types of insect. I'm going to hold off on that, though, because I think it might be too easy. We've got cedar and beech as a type of trees. Pine and yew. All kinds of trees. But again, it kind of feels... I feel like yew is going to be a homophone for Y-O-U. I don't know why, I just kind of feel like that's what it's going to be. Okay, decay. If something decays, it what? I don't see any other words that would go with that. What about easy? No. Effort? E for effort, E for easy? Geo. Geo is a kind of car. It's the letters G-O. G-O and U. Tick. Tick-tock. We got apps here, TikTok and Apple Music or something. Beach can be a homophone for the beach, as well as a kind of tree. V for Vendetta was a film. Apple. Pine cone. Chris Pine. Pine tree. Might could be a synonym for, or a homophone for strength, for might. Cookie. Okay, I'm going to go back to my insect. Ticks, I think, are arachnids, but beetle. Let's try these as bugs. Arthropods. All right, I'm going to give myself credit for that. And then we had kinds of tree, which I think is going to be wrong, but let's see it. Because apple is a tree too, isn't it? Well, let's try this. Trees, okay. I feel like V for Vendetta. A, you get an A for effort. C is for cookie, as Cookie Monster's saying. Easy as pie. A is for apple. How would the others go together? I feel like something is there, but I can't quite get it. Tooth decay. Radioactive decay. Easy as pie. A for apple is, a phrase from every kindergartner's book. C is for cookie, V for vendetta, and you get an A for effort. Let's try that. That was it. Okay. Then decay, easy, geo, and ZD. Purple category is the one remaining. ZD is a kind of pasta. We have the word zit here. If we add a letter to these, do we get anything? Or are these initials D, K, E, Z, G, O, and ZT? Maybe these are just words that sound like initials. I can't think of anything that those initials have in common. Okay, let's just try that. Words that sound like initials. Oh, want to hit the submit button? Words that sound like two letters. Okay, there we go. Perfect score on that one, although I feel like I wasn't quite getting some of those. Okay, August 5th. For the 5th, our words are dress, scarf, subway, grate, pipe, tube, cube, zip, health, carrot, underground, secret, metro, mince, coal, and slice. Okay, metro and underground and subway and tube. Tube is the subway, the underground in London. Metro is the name of many subway systems. So let's try this as an underground train. Here we go. Pipe could be something from skateboarding. It's something to do with Old King Cole. Called for his pipe and called for his bowl. No. Okay, let's come back to that. Dress and scarf could be garments. You dress up a dish with are these cooking terms? Mince, dress, cube, like cube chicken, slice. Well, I kind of like cube, slice, mince going together as chopping up words. Grate, like grated cheese. Okay, ways to make food smaller. Let's try that. Making to small people cooking. I almost nailed it. Okay, health, health food, health code, zip code, secret code, dress code. And then others are snowman things, I think. Okay, so words that go with code, and then things you might use to make a snowman. Corncob pipe, button nose, and so forth. Yeah. 2 eyes made out of coal. There we go. Okay, we got that one. No incorrect guesses there. Let's look at the 6th. Scroll down past the ad. For the 6th, our words are bait, pin, cross, squad, hook, spec, needle, badge, strap, button, rag, chamois, rib, uppercut, brooch, and jab. Interesting. Okay. Uppercut and jab and cross are boxing blows. Hook, a left hook. Okay, there we go. Let's try this as boxing punches. Then bait and I was going to say things you use while fishing, but that would be hook rather than needle. What about sewing terms? Needle, button, pin, and brooch. Are these ways you might fasten something together? Pin, a brooch, a button, and a strap. Okay, let's try this as a fastener. No. Okay, we'll come back to that. A chamois and a rag are cloths. Badge and pin and brooch could go together as insignia, something. Okay, bait. What goes with bait? I don't know. Spec can be short for spectacles, like my eyeglasses. Specification could be a homophone for a small particle. No. Needle and rib could be words for tease. You can also bait someone with a joke. Spec, rag. Yeah, quit ragging on me. Okay, let's try that. Words for tease. Then I like the fastener idea, but was that one away, or I think it was just wrong. Squad. A squad car, a police squad. A squad is a sports team? I don't know. Chamois. What is that other than a kind of cloth? Usually spelled Chamoyois. Begins with sham, which can be a word for fake. Sham bad. Brooch. I think it's pronounced brooch, even though it's spelled brooch. And then there's a broach, which means to broach a topic of conversation. Okay, I'm not getting this one. A badge, a pin, a brooch, and a button. These could all be decorative items with pointy fasteners. Okay. Then strap, spec, chamois, and squad. These are muscles with S at the beginning. Trapezoid, pectoral, hamstring, and quadriceps. Okay, muscles that you might exercise with an S at the beginning. Wow, that one was difficult. Okay, so I think we had one incorrect guess there with my fastener idea, but then we managed to get it in the end. August 7th. Words for the 7th are Borg, Poke Devil, Scroll, Vulcan, Drag King, Elf, Punch, Batman, Sinner, graph, click, pierce, and hover. Okay, I see two alien species from Star Trek, but only two. Bjorn Borg was a tennis player, along with Billie Jean King. Steffi Graf. I bet there's another one. I bet there's a Pierce. Okay, I think there's another tennis player on here, but I don't know it. So let's leave that aside. Bore can mean to pierce, to bore a hole, to poke a hole, and to punch a hole in something. Let's try these as synonyms. Perforate, okay. Scroll can be a document, something you write on. You can scroll through social media. You can click through web pages. You can hover, and you can drag. Maybe these are all things you can do with your mouse on a computer. Okay. Elf and Batman are movies. Sinner is a recent film. Do these have anything in common with each other? Steffi Graf, Bjorn Borg, Billie Jean King. Oh, I know. An elf, a Vulcan from Star Trek, the Batman costume, all have pointy ears. Does the devil have pointy ears? A sinner wouldn't have pointy ears. A forked or a pointed tail or horns for the devil. Let's try it. I'm not confident about that. Ones with pointy ears. Okay. And then I don't know a tennis player named Sinner, but I think that's what is going on here. Tennis players. Wimbledon winners. Okay. There we go. No, did we have an incorrect guess on that one? No, we didn't, according to the stats. And we've got two more. The 8th. Friday the 8th is degree, draw, Pac-Man, vest, paint, present or present, tie, doodle, marvel, square, space, even, doze, grant, confer, and pass notes. To doodle and pass notes, things you might do in class when you're not paying attention. Degree. Not sure. Grant and confer can be synonyms. To present something to someone. And to vest. By the power vested in me, conferred on me. I think these can all be synonyms. Yes, bestow. So paint and doodle and draw, ways you can create art. Not sure about that. Okay, let's go back to my idea of doodle, pass notes, and doze as things you might do in class when you're not paying attention. Stare into space, paint, marvel, square. Would you draw? What's the difference between draw and doodle here? I'm not sure about that. Draw might be the fourth one there. Paint. Thought about that as creating art. What about degree? To a large degree. The third degree. No, tie. The score is tied. It's even. It's a draw. And the teams are square. I'm going to square it up with you. I think these are all words for even, like fair and square. Make equal as a score. Okay. Doze. Could be a homophone for those. D's and does. Not sure. Marvel Comics. Ms. Marvel, Miss Pac-Man, Ms. I don't know about that. Well, MS Paint, Microsoft Paint is a product, and MS, okay, maybe what MS might go in front of, but pronounced different ways, Ms. or MS. Let's try that. And space is a verb here, to space out. I just sat there and spaced. I dozed, I doodled, I spaced, I passed notes. I wasn't paying attention in class, and I think those all work. Okay, was that the last one? We got one more. This will be the last one. The 9th of August. Our words for the 9th are inside, product, maize, syrup, fruit, knock knock, let me in, muffin, practical, ghost, return, silk, yield, twilight, dad, and Casper. All right, Casper the Friendly Ghost. Are these movies with ghosts in them? Twilight had vampires and werewolves in it, I think. Okay, I'm not sure about that. What about inside? Lots of things inside could be with as part of a phrase. Product. Something you make. The result of a multiplication operation. Okay, not sure about that. What about maize? A corn maze, corn syrup, corn muffin, and corn silk, that thready part of a corn husk. Okay, where does it go with corn? Let's try that. Yes, corn-y things, okay. Fruit. The fruit and the yield, the fruit of my labors, the yield of my labors, the product of my work, and the return on my investment. Okay, what you get from your effort. The result, okay. Practical, a practical joke, a knock-knock joke, a dad joke, and an inside joke. I don't see how these others go together. Let's try that. Ghost, I'm thinking of the movie with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. Casper, the Friendly Ghost. I knew him as a comic book when I was a kid, and then they made a movie of him later. I don't know. I don't think there were ghosts in Twilight, and I don't know Let Me In. Sounds like it could be like a horror movie. Maybe these are just movies with supernatural creatures in them. Let's try that. Supernatural romance. Okay. I don't remember any romance in the Casper the Friendly Ghost comic books, but I guess I'll believe that. Okay, so I think we had one where I had an incorrect guess, and then another one where I got to the last category and wasn't able to figure out how they went together. But other than that, I always think Connections is a good way to spend a few minutes. So thanks for joining me today. Please come back for more puzzles and games, and I'll see you next time.